All right, what's up, people? So I've completed my first level of analysis of the verse structures in Qutub. I went through and I went through all of the all 70, well, 74 technically, 0 to 72 and then infinity. So I went through, completed my initial analysis, and here are my findings. So I believe there are 3 primary structures, what I call single, double, and triple. And then there are 3 basically outliers, which are each one single verse. So what I want to do is I want to start off with single, because I think it'll be easiest. You can either think of it as though, I was going to draw arrows here, but I didn't want to do that, because you can either take this structure as primary and then see this as kind of like a degradation of that, or you can see this structure as primary and see this as an addition to that. That's the way I see it. But I can see either way. Again, remember, there's got to be like a mirror right here. There's like a mirror right here. Get back to the last one that I was talking about. So, single, and when you see the star, the asterisk, that means an unrhymed verse. And then A will be your first rhyme, B will be your second rhyme, and C will be your third rhyme in sequential order. So you always start at the top, the first rhyme is an A, etc. It's really simple because he only primarily uses these 3, and of those, primarily these 2. Again, here is the list of the verses that are triple. It's 3, 13, 33, and 68 proper, although I put 42 here, and the reason why, when we get over to 42, I'll explain why. So if we look at, we got to see this in action. Okay, so this would be the triple form. This here, now notice I'm moving, I'm struggling. In and swim, I mean, is that a rhyme? But then I put it together and I was like, twin, in, so that had to be an A. So yeah, so it had to fall into the double. This is the double. Again, the double. Doesn't rhyme. Third doesn't rhyme, and then it's A, A, B, B, A. You could call it the ABBA structure. Like, if you change your mind. Okay, so then we have the single structure. The single structure is doesn't rhyme, and then we start alternating, and then you skip 2. Now notice those 2 that are skipped, Knight and Mark here, if those rhymed, it would go over to the ABBA structure. This is why I say I think this is the most primary structure, and then this one is, it just so happens to include that extra rhyme between the penultimate 2 verses. So those are pretty simple for what's going on there. And then here we have, and we did this the last time when I mentioned the first 2. I did 3 and 13, but there's, again, as I said, there's a couple more. So you have A, B, A, B, C, C, B. So it's kind of the same structure. Instead of the 2 B's penultimate, you have 2 C's penultimate. Instead of A rhyming, you have B rhyming with B rhyming with B. All you did was you took those first 2, the first 2 asterisks. You took those first 2 asterisks here on the double, and you made them rhyme, which punches that down to a B, which is how you get from the double to the triple. You see what I'm saying? If you make this one the first and the third rhyme, then A and A, right? Which makes this a B now. So then you have B and B, right? Which means B and B have to become C and C, and then you see what I'm saying? So the triple just results from making the first and the third rhyme. Still the same overall structure. Okay, so let's look at 42 first. I think 11 is the most fascinating, but we have 42. So we have A, B, unrhymed, B, C, C, A, B. Okay, so what I did here was, I said, imagine if you took this A here and slid it up into this spot here. Just eliminate that guy right there. And then you would push the B up to where the A is. Oh, well, then you get the triple. Then you get the triple. If you make this verse here, this final A rhyme, if you take that verse and move it up into the third slot, now what you do with that third one, that's kind of up to you. Let's go see. We're gonna go to 42, and we're gonna look at the third. We're gonna look at the third verse. I don't know, man. I haven't done this yet. I just figured, hey, man, let's have some fun. Here we go. 42. And we want the third verse. A veil to hide that which we fear. Whoa. Whoa. Looks like a hair. I don't, there's no hairs in here, man. A veil to hide that which we fear. Notice this is the only. Notice I started off here, but then I got to. Okay, because like, if I do this one right here to down here, see and infamy, right? But again, imagine I take this verse here, thou hast made mine eyes to see, slide that up into the third slot, and then take this one here, a veil to hide that which we fear, and veil it. Veil it up, buddy. Cover it. I don't know, man. This is just the way I work. So, now this one here, 44, and I tried to get around this. I'm like, there's no way there is a counterexample to the single. But this is like almost a primordial single. So let's go check out. What are all these hairs doing all over the place? God damn it. I don't have no dogs. 44, right? So we're going to go to 44. We're just there. We're so close. Here it is. And I noticed I tried to question it. But unless this guy doesn't, he speaks English, so there's no way that, that's 4 A's. That's 4 A's. Abyss, tryst, kiss, miss. You might be like, tryst. I tried to question it, but I'm like, no, it's a rhyme. It's a rap, buddy. So this one is the only one. You notice, again, we have the triple. And again, if you insert a rhyme here, then you get the ABBA formation. And then if you make 1 and 3 rhyme, you get, well, 42 is a bad example because, like I said, you have to move certain things around. You have to slide this guy up, and then yeah. All right, now we get to the most interesting one, which is number 11, which I think this is going to become something somewhat pivotal, which is why you can see how I kind of did that there. So what we have here is we have AB doesn't rhyme, B-A-A-B. Now see, the A rhyme is unmistakable. And it is because it is the first rhyme, rhyming with still, then that cannot be denied. So it doesn't follow the triple formula. It's not even derivative of the triple formula. This one stands alone in moments strung like prayer beads. The only unrhymed verse in the verse. I'm gonna start using the word ayat, but I don't want to. I think that would be disrespectful. So yeah, 11. But of all the others, I think this is pretty much the format: single, double, triple, and those are all derivative. 1, 2, 3. Then this one, 42, derives from the triple by shifting, moving, or veiling a verse. 11 is 11's got to stick out, right? It's a prime number. And then 44, which is derivative in a different way from the single, but it was undeniable. At least I think that 44 is definitely derivative of the single. They just filled in that one little star right there. That star in the 4th position. Right. So yeah, but like I said, that's preliminary. Because given all that, all I'm talking about right here is structure. Just structure. Now we got to get to the meaning of it all. Why are certain verses single? Why are some double? Why are some triple? And what's going on with 11? Do we want to read 11 again? I don't know. You might want to read it. Or maybe not. Read the whole thing. Don't worry, we're going to do a meta-analysis of all of it because that's only halfway through. This is after the main text, and he has his own analysis of pretty much everything. You know what I'm saying? You can see I'm getting to work. I'm getting to work on these. I know it bleeds through. That's fine. My power bleeds through. Peacock feathers. So he's going in. See, he's describing. That's one of the things that what he named one of his glyphs or one of his plates or whatever you want to call them. You know what I'm saying? The one of Lilith, right? So yeah, we're having fun here. Looks like I'm gonna have to delete some files again. I'm getting the countdown. Yeah, it's the final countdown. I know. But yeah, 42 and 44, the two uniques other than 11, and they're pretty much side by side.